So, I just woke up and I moved and I popped my back out right in the middle with my breathing ribs, and it hurt so bad. I also woke up to some phone calls of my doctor appointments being canceled. Oh, it's not a good start to a day at all. I was supposed to have my primary care doctor appointment today. I was supposed to have my psychologist appointment today. I was supposed to have my chiropractic in 5 minutes from now, but they called me yesterday to reschedule for tomorrow. So tomorrow is a good time, but today would have been way better. Instead, now I have a full day of my back being in extreme pain. And it's still icy outside a little bit. I looked outside. Oh, ow, my back. I already took my medication, and I already have my second medication on hand in case it doesn't help the first one. I have to give it an hour to set in though, so. But I just realized when I looked outside, the birds or the wind. This is a bird feeder. There's no food. It's all on the ground with the top way over here. I want to know how they got that top off that all the way over here. I'm losing my voice. I'm feeling my muscles in my throat shift because of the stuff being out in my back and me using my arms. It is right here. I don't know. Right here. I can feel my spine go up and over this way. It's that up, over, there, like that. I have curvature to the left of my spine from it getting popped out of place this morning. And all I can try to do is slowly try to shift it back in. I'm on my heating pad right now, so I can try and get it to go back in. I already let Stormy go out to go potty. Her foot is actually looking a lot better. It doesn't look as swollen, and she is actually walking on it and putting weight on it, so all she needed was some overnight tender loving care rest. For now. I mean, if symptoms pop back up, of course I'm calling the vet, but with everything canceling their businesses still with this inclement weather, I don't know if anything's going to get done. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get much done today. I might be doing more videos. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm tired of my back going out like this in the mornings when I try to get up out of bed. And the news on the update on my caretaking hours, I'm having a second assessment done on the phone and tomorrow after my chiropractor. So a second evaluation is needed, or assessment, to figure out exactly what I'm really needing a caretaker for hours, so they can figure out what hours can be assigned to me. I'm in so much pain right now. You won't be able to tell when I really get to talking about stuff because I'm purposely not thinking about it. but it's really hard to ignore, especially right when it first happens. It hurts to breathe. I felt some chest pain right after it went out because of the shifting of my spine to the left. The vertebrae popped out, I guess. I don't know. That's just my guess. I don't know. I don't know for sure exactly. I'm not an anatomy major, but I'm trying to be. All I know is everything on the left, I felt a deep thunk. So that means it's seated in a very bad position that is now causing spasms in my chest, spasms in my back, and it makes it hard for me to use my arms in front of me and doing a lot of things in front of me because that is around the area that it pulled out. So using my arms really makes those muscles move around the spine where it went out. I just can't barely do anything. My edema isn't that bad this morning in my face, but it's going to be with the widespread inflammation. I may end up I'm trying to taper down off my methylprednisolone, but now with all the inflammation that's going to be happening today, I might have to double it. I need to be weaning off of it, but I just don't know if that's going to be possible right now. The best combination I've had right now for my medication has really helped keep my pain and symptoms more at bay. And so I've been a little more productive the last few days, but now my body's telling me to slow down. I did too much over the last couple days, and it really wasn't much of anything. This is what happens. This is my life. So yeah, this is getting ready with me, which is me just laying in bed because this is me getting ready because I'm laying on my heating pad. So this is a diary of a disabled getting ready with me from bed. My mind is slowly waking up as my body is forcing me to wake up because of the pain. Things will get better throughout the day. As things settle into the wrong spot, all my muscles are shifting and trying to gain stability wherever they can. And that means maybe more adhesions. I have to be careful on not eating very much food today because that will get my intestines stuck to my abdominal wall. I was just finally starting to be able to eat again too. And now I have to lessen my food load because I can't have a full stomach. But man, I love food. I wish I could eat more of it. I wish my intestine didn't get stuck to my abdominal wall. I'm trying to gain stability for my back that's unstable and popping out in the mornings when I try to get out of bed. The stretch felt so good, but it stretched so far that I popped out. I have almost instant headache up here from not having a good cerebral spinal fluid flow up and down my spine because I have now things shifted out of place. So now I have less cerebral spinal fluid to make my brain float and not have as much headache. I'm getting some sinus pain coming down through here. I'm extremely congested in the left side. So I have some blocked spinal fluid up in my sinuses because things are not sitting right below it. Oh my gosh, the inflammation pain. I'm feeling the inflammation pain and the spasm as I talk. So, this is my morning. At least my appointments are going to be canceled, I guess. That means I need to really spare my pain medication out over the next 24 hours at least minimum, until I can get rescheduled with my doctor, which may not even happen this week. I doubt it. He has to make up for a full day's worth of patients to try and reschedule now on top of his regular schedule. It's going to be a S show over the next week, trying to get an appointment back into my primary. And I am going to pray that my pain medication doesn't run out before then. I've actually been down to just 2 pills a day versus the 3 that I asked for. I told him next time I see him, I'm going to ask for a prescription for 2. And then the prescription after that's going to be 1, and I'm going to be off of it. And that should be time enough for my sit bone to be more healed and my body to be more settled and more not pulling itself out as frequently. And what's really helping with that is the steroids. The steroids really help the inflammation calm down from pulling it out. And then my food issues with the anxiety meds is also an H1 antagonist or mast cell stabilizer, which also really helps when I'm having a reaction to anything that I have eaten. It's not just straight up anxiety. Mast cell issues replicate anxiety and anger. And so, for whatever reason, the combination of having the anxiety meds, the pain meds, and the steroids, having the combination of steroids, anxiety meds, and pain meds is like the perfect cocktail to get me to function, because I'm not having my back go out as frequently. But when it does go out, at least the anxiety meds kick in, and it prevents me from having a psychosomatic kind of reaction to my symptoms. My symptoms will cause a mental anxiety panic in me. And then that also turns into more stress, which tightens up my upper back. So then I have a stress response. And so the anxiety meds help with the stress response, and it helps with keeping things chill and not pulling it out of place more. There's a reason why I take this combination of medications, because they work in conjunction with each other to stop pulling things out of place in my body extra hard because of that instability, because all these other systems are at play. When one thing goes out, it's a cascade of symptoms that follow. And it just is a circle. And so it keeps my body in a trauma cycle of symptom, panic, more symptom, more panic, symptom, panic. And then the steroids help prevent the pulling of the inflammation on the other joints and stuff out. So that combination really helps. And then the pain medication helps because of the pain that it causes. The extreme pain of nerve pain, sciatica pain, referred pain, dull pain, sharp pain, migraine pain, because of everything being pulled out. I can communicate this because I'm in the process of trying to eliminate my symptoms, and I'm trying my best to explain my symptoms, how the medication really helps, but it's not what I want to live on. It's not ideal. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to be on these narcotic controlled substances that every doctor and pharmacist judges me for and tries to get me off of. But for them to understand, it's the perfect cocktail for me to be functional. They work together to help with my mast cell problems. It works with my anxiety that comes from mast cell and the anger that comes from the mast cell activation, because the mast cells are released because things are going wonky in my body on the inside. And then my outward appearance is I'm an invisible chronic pain patient, and painkillers are not the way for chronic pain. They just are not. They cause way too many other problems like gastroparesis and side effects of, the kidneys are going to try to detoxify everything, which would also really explain my Hashimoto's and my thyroid issues, because my body is on so many medications. It cannot detox all the heavy metals and the fillers and stuff that is put inside these medications. And so, of course, I'm getting goiters and these things that cannot break down via my kidney. I have so many issues, and it's hard to explain to a doctor to get them to understand this is what I've been experiencing for like the last 20 years. This has been going on for 20 years, and I have tried every kind of treatment to help myself feel better. I was on ibuprofen for so long until I got to the point I started getting hives and anaphylaxis every time I started taking it. And that started with all the other medications that all the doctors would give me, other than the narcotics. My body just does not respond well to any other medication. I need short acting. When it takes a medication like a month for it to take effect, my body recognizes it as a poison and it does not detoxify correctly. And then I have major night sweats and major, like, profusely sweating episodes because my body cannot detox all the stuff in these medications on top of the medications that are actually helping me. I cannot take SSRIs. I've tried. I also have taken some genetic testing to find out I don't have enzymes to break down a lot of SSRIs. My body is not made to take SSRIs. I have tried them. They did not help my mental health. They did not help my pain. They didn't help any of that. So what is the point in taking a medication that does not help my depression or anxiety or my pain or does anything other than make me feel like crap? I am not going to take those medications. I've tried also taking timed release Adderall for my ADHD. That it never worked. It's like my body doesn't detox things right. And so since it doesn't detox and break down medication correctly, it just never, I never felt like it helped me. I felt like I just kept taking more time release until I'm ODing, basically, in order to get the medication to instantly work and get it to do this job. Things that are time release don't work in my body. I've tried. Like antibiotics, it takes time for antibiotics to really kick in. And by the time they really start kicking in, my body decides, no, we don't like this medication. And I start getting major side effects after a couple days of taking an antibiotic. I can do things in short doses. That's it. Short doses. I cannot take things long term. I've been able to tolerate my RA medication without that problem. I've been able to take my fludrocortisone for my POTS, and that hasn't been a problem. But when it comes to any kind of medication where it takes time to get into your body, it doesn't work for me. I can only do instant release, like instant Adderall. I have to have the instant stuff. Not only does it help my brain really start to go, it wakes it up, but it also focuses it. It's able to focus it and wake it up. That's why caffeine was always my thing, but due to caffeine and the acidity level and the mold level in coffee, and my mast cell issues with some types of mold, I am not able to really drink coffee. I do on occasion, just for a treat, but I have to really pay attention to the day that I do that, because some days I'm not able to drink 1 cup, but some days I can. It just depends on the coffee. It depends on the my mast cell load for the day. It's really hard having so many medical conditions and trying to treat 3 or 4 things when, like, for my inflammation, my doctors are like, do an inflammation diet. Oh, you need to do a gastroparesis diet. Oh, you need to do a Hashimoto's type diet. You need to avoid this type of food. I have all these conditions where the nutritionist, I told her, I'm like, it's been recommended I see you. And I've been to a nutritionist like 3 times, different ones. And each time has been absolutely zero help. Because every time I go, I'm like, well, it's recommended I'm on this diet and this diet and this diet. No nightshades, no gluten, no. And then doing my scratch test with my allergist with my mast cell issues. I had 60 out of 90 pop up for a scratch test one day when my mast cell load was really, really high and I was really symptomatic. So I decided to do the scratch test to get some real fucking answers. Yeah, that one was really telling. And I was like, okay, so the tests that I had the most pop up as triggers, those are what I'm going to consider my mast cell triggers. And ever since I have avoided all of those 60 triggers, I have been feeling a lot better. My abdominal pain's been way less. I haven't had many problems with GERD. I haven't had problems with really gastroparesis, except for since I started my pain meds again. That's been more of an issue. Less so with the liquid. I didn't have problems with the liquid, but I argued with the pharmacist about getting liquid, and there's absolutely no way I can get liquid Vicodin from him, so pill form it is, and the more reason for me to get off of the pill form a lot faster because I don't want any more blockages and my gastroparesis to get worse. However, I have to try and manage my pain, and it's the only thing that helps. I can't take too much Tylenol. I've tried just taking Tylenol. Tylenol helps to a degree, but it doesn't really do anything to touch the pain that I'm in because of the instability. I'm really getting into my medical issues on this episode. This is a combination of so many different things. But this is the stuff I have to try and manage and navigate on a daily basis, and things I have to think about, and how I have to get medical treatment. It's not ideal. I cannot take all kinds of medications. I'm allergic to antibiotics. I'm allergic to NSAIDs. I'm allergic to food. I'm allergic to mold. I'm allergic to trees. I'm allergic to grasses. And the best I can do is just to try to avoid those triggers. I have tried to reintroduce my food triggers multiple times with very zero success. I cannot get all my food back. I cannot eat nightshades. I cannot eat strawberries. I cannot eat certain fruit, almost all fruit. I have to just supplement with my vitamins, but even then, my supplements work too good because I do sublingual type, and that's the only way that I can bypass my gastroparesis and not breaking down pills is just doing sublingual versions of my supplements. I also have the MTHFR mutation, which is a problem with detoxifying things in the body. So that really makes sense for the reasons why I don't absorb a lot of the things, along with my damaged celiac gut, which I have completely reversed, but I've been getting away with eating some of my stuff over the last little few years. I had a lot of accidental celiac contaminations over the last 6 months. Without even realizing it, my mom makes gluten-free food and gluten food, and I have mistakenly thought I ate gluten-free when it was actually the gluten-filled. And so I've been kind of symptomatic off and on from that. I have my most of my appointments rescheduled. I have so many more I need to make. I have my paperwork I need to do. I might just be motivated to do my paperwork today with these medical issues. I might just be so fed up enough with my symptoms that I need to get this stuff taken care of. I've let myself go for too long the last few weeks, which I haven't really, because I've been keeping up with my appointments. I've been doing the things and going to the stuff. But over the last few days, I really have been slacking, and it's because I've been trying to heal. I had such a stressful last 2 weeks. My mental health was not good over the last 2 weeks. And I finally got on my anxiety meds again, briefly, which I basically just took my last one to help mitigate the cycle that could potentially happen for today. I don't like talking about my controlled substances that I take for medication for my symptoms. As part of my PTSD, as part of me being called a drug seeker, and I've been recently having those repeated intrusive thoughts because of the way I've been treated in public lately by a couple of people, including the pharmacist that I go to regularly at the pharmacy I go to. I'm getting extremely thirsty. My medication's starting to kick in. But to show an example, this, and I don't, this is my medications. I'm able to keep them in just a small little bag. And the only way here's my empty bottle. That one's empty. And then I have my supplements. I haven't taken my supplements yet for the morning, but one thing at a time. My back has instantly just gone and not to adjust for being out of place. And so I'm having extreme muscle spasm pain. It's extremely tight and it makes it hard to move because my back is locked up on the opposite side of the body, the right side, because the left side is out, with my spine being misaligned. Now I'm starting to get pain down in my arm because of things shifting still. Things are shifting in my body and I feel it. I feel a throbbing in my left arm. I'll point it out. This is what it's like with my pain cycle. This is what happens when something goes out. I feel it throughout my entire body. I'm feeling referred muscle pain through here. I have pain right here, right now, as I'm talking. Because whatever is out up here is attached to a muscle up over my shoulder, which is attached to some ligaments and tendons that run down my arm, which also gives me referred pain down in here, where it doesn't make any sense. It does make sense when you follow anatomy and when you follow nerve and the nervous system, and you follow the ligament system and the muscle system. Everything connects together. And so I feel everything everywhere when one thing goes out in one spot. And now I'm getting leg pain in my left leg as I lay here and speak. Oh my goodness. The pain is now going down to my SI, and it's going up and down my leg on the outside part. Feeling pain shifting in my muscles and ligaments down my leg because it's the left side of my body that is out. So since my spine is misaligned, I am now having problems in my leg and my arm and my hand and my thumb. And this is going to affect how I walk throughout the day, because now I'm going to have probably a left short leg because it's affecting everything on my left side of my body. So this is what it's like having a EDS body and feeling so sensitive that you can tell and learn through your pain patterns and your pain signals. The signals are telling you what's going on. It's up to you to pay attention to them and figure out why. I learned this cognitive behavior therapy in my pain management class. And I also learned from my physical therapist that specializes in EDS. You don't chase the pain. You get to the root of the pain, but sometimes you have to peel back the layers of the onion to figure out where the pain is originating. Now I'm getting pain in my right armpit because now things are adjusting on the right side of my body to adjust for the left side. See? I am a complete pain mess. And so without pain medication, I'm going to continue to feel everything go haywire throughout the entire day as things adjust. When I change positions throughout the day, different parts are going to be felt and going to be painful. It's going to make it so I don't want to move, but I have to move because the arthritis and the stiffness is going to make it so I can't move if I don't. So I have to periodically shift around and shift positions and hope and pray that I don't pull something else out in the process, because my body is working on overdrive to pull it already. It's already working to pull things out right now as I lay here and do nothing. My body is pulling things out as I talk in this entire half hour. So to understand pain, you really have to think about it. You got to think about it. You got to think about what you know. And what I know is I've been experiencing this for 20 plus years. And learning how to deal with my pain and cope with it without going and being a complete crying mess. I know what helps me. Heat helps me to calm it down, but it also increases inflammation and increases blood flow. So my point to doing heat is so I can increase blood flow to that spot, because it's about to be cut off of blood flow. And I don't want necrosis in these areas, which I know has happened to my mom with necrosis of her hip, because her hip being out for so long that it kills all the blood supply to the hip, and then you get necrosis of the tissues around it because it's not getting any oxygen. And then essentially that part of your body dies. Luckily, she has been able to get blood flow to it again somehow. I don't know what she did differently, but her last scan showed that her necrosis has alleviated. I don't know how that happens. But this is all the information I know. You just gather the information, you gather what you know, and then you have to figure out what you don't know. And you really have to pay attention and ground yourself to your own body. Me, I'm so grounded in my body, I know it all, but I have to disengage and dissociate and numb myself from my body and my sensations the best that I can, until I can get adjusted from my chiropractor. Until I get adjusted, I have to numb myself. I have to numb myself so much that sometimes I may not even be able to speak, and I may end up having to slur my words because I cannot. I have to numb myself so hard, and it's not what I want to do. I don't want to numb myself. The more I numb myself, the less emotions I feel and the more mental health problems I get. So it's a catch-22 with a mental health and physical health. I'm helping one thing, but it also hinders another. It's a tough battle. I'm up for the challenge because I'm trying to live forever, and I will try to live forever. I am going to continue to try to live forever. I always had a fascination with my dark sense of humor, and I love vampires, and I love, I'm like, gosh, I can see how they could get bored after like billions of years, but society changes all the time. I'd probably just get bored for like 20 or 30 years, depending on what's going on in the time frame. But yeah, I know vampires aren't real, but it is so hard being disabled, man. It's hard being disabled. I am still chronically happy. I mean, like, for me to be able to still smile and, recognize what's happening with myself, it makes me happy and validated, because I know what I speak is my truth. This is my story. Nobody can deny me my story. This is me. This is what I know. This is what I experienced. Don't mistake my 43 years of experience in this jacked up body for some PhD. I could get a PhD in this. I definitely have a PhD certificate in my body and knowing what's wrong with it and how to help it. Just a lot of people don't know about EDS, and they don't know how to help it, and they don't know how to help themselves. I know how to help myself. It's a combination of medication. It's a combination of physical therapy and a lot of guidance, a lot of rehabilitation. I believe rehabilitation and core training and like Pilates is the key to getting functionality back. But when you have mechanical problems in your body or things just they hang wrong, there's not enough cartilage, the ligaments are too stretched out, there's got to be things that you can do to mitigate that, and there are. But insurance companies don't quite have it covered yet, and I can't afford all the out-of-pocket expenses. My expenses for prolotherapy would be astronomical. Stem cells injections and embryonic stem cells would regenerate some of my problems. It would maybe potentially even help shrink some of my ligaments back to where they could go. I really think that stem cells and embryonic stem cells grown in labs, not trying to be too controversial, but for somebody with very degenerative issues, stem cells regenerate. And also prolotherapy, the sugar water, basically helps regenerate things. It's a beginning process to regenerate. And why the United States will not get behind that yet is beyond me. I think it's more of a, here I go on my conspiracy theory, population control. We have too much of a population, and how can they get a handle on things unless people start in mass quantities leaving, basically. But yet we continue to let people into our country that is already overpopulated. But I understand why they would want to escape their own countries, because of the chaos in their countries. Like, I have a heart, I have some empathy. I'm not trying to say we shouldn't let people in, but we have so many problems that I would rather flee my country and get other help elsewhere myself. With treatments like stem cell therapy, that with countries that do offer those types of treatments. However, here comes my puffiness. My inflammation sure has started coming since my video started. My face is so much puffier than it was when I first started recording. This inflammation is no joke. I already took my steroids, I already took all my medication, and here I have all this inflammation in real time showing up in my video. And it's only been 37 minutes since I started recording. So it takes about a half hour for my inflammation to spread throughout my entire body from one thing getting out of place. And it affects everything above and below in that portion of my body. Now I'm starting to feel abdominal pain where it's trying to gain stability in my intestine and my abdominal wall. It's a very problematic area right here. And then the other is up here. This basically one of my physical therapists that I saw. I'm like a zigzag yo, and he's like, that's actually a good way to think about it. And I'm like, yeah, because my body's trying to gain stability of being upright, even though I'm not upright right now. I'm laying down. So for it to try to gain stability while I'm laying down is beyond me. But yet I still feel it. And I still feel it. My muscles getting really tight as a knot on the right side to gain compensation for the left being out. It hurts so bad. This is my messy bed here. My calicos right here. I have night sweats. I just showered yesterday, and the night sweats come through my pores in my hair, and it just grease from the sweat. I'm gonna have to take a shower, but I don't know how I'm gonna get into the shower. I don't have a shower stool yet. I don't have bars for my shower. I would benefit from having a walk-in shower, but walk-in shower tub. We can't afford that out of pocket, my parents and I. They just did do a remodel in their bathroom too, not too long ago. It's just they couldn't do anything with the tub. Those things are thousands of dollars. I was using an inflatable hot tub for a while, but those only last like a total of a year and a half to 2 years of running almost nonstop. Um, they just don't last, but they are way more disposable and easier to get rid of than a regular hot tub shell. So there is that. This is one of my longest episodes yet. This is just, I have to communicate this. I'm trying to remember my symptoms and being able to have this video to hopefully explain to my doctors at some point, if I can ever get a long enough time frame to talk to them. 15 minutes is just not enough time, but that's why I go every single week. But when my problems are escalating like this, and it's all because of my fall. Like, if it wasn't for my major fall a few weeks ago, I wouldn't be degressing like I am. Every little injury, and that wasn't a little one, it was a major injury. I felt it up my entire spinal cord. I definitely hurt my spinal cord at the bottom of my sit bone because I felt it zing all the way to my brain. And it was I don't know, I definitely hit my tailbone. I definitely hit my spinal cord. And I don't know if it's tethered again or not, but if it wasn't before, it might be getting tethered now because I'm having more problems with my urinary stuff. I need to call and get into my urologist. I don't have one. I keep saying I don't have one, and that's been part of the problem and part of my PTSD. Because part of my PTSD is the risk of failure, trying to make traction and spinning my wheels, getting nowhere, which was a lot of my problem with my PTSD with the VA. Is no matter what I tried, everything they told me to do, I would do, and they would still screw me over and make it so hard for me to get care. So it's really hard for me to force myself to go through the steps to set up an appointment. And if I have any issues with that appointment, or if it gets canceled on me or whatever, my PTSD spirals because I'm just like, it puts me back into the VA. Physically, mentally, I get like really bad anxiety, panic, loss of vision, just hysterics. I can't calm down. I'll just keep crying, and nothing anybody says makes me feel any better. All I do is just keep repeating myself on repeat over and over and over again because I'm stuck in that stress cycle. Because anytime anything reminds me of that situation of failing to get any traction with my medical care, I shut down. I won't do it. And I procrastinate. And things get to the point where it's really bad, where I'm bleeding and I have uncontrollable bleeding. And I'm just like, I need to get in now. But it's that fire of like now. And I've procrastinated long enough that I have to do it now, to call that urologist's office. But conveniently, things are closed, and so it adds to that PTSD cycle. At least I got enough sleep, so I'm not like a crying mess talking about this stuff, because I can actually talk about this stuff without crying. It's the days when I have no sleep. It's the days when I'm so spun up because of external circumstances out of my control that I'm hysterical. I have meltdowns. I'm overstimulated. I have too much going on. I still have too much stuff going on. However, I'm doing one thing at a time. And I'm making progress. And so I'm really proud of myself for working through my own PTSD triggers, because I can't get into a mental health professional to save my life right now, because I am so concerned about my physical health stuff. But I need to take care of this. I need to take care of my brain while I deal with this physical stuff. But how can I get past that when I have so many barriers? And my psychologist is part of a barrier. I don't like my psychologist. He has continued to trigger me. And he triggered me on purpose. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to get me to shock therapy through it kind of thing. And it's not what I need right now when I'm already still going through the trauma. It's detrimental right now to put me into that shock state, to force me to do things that I'm not comfortable with doing yet because my mind is not ready. You have to coerce my mind to be ready for it. And doing the way that he went about it was very counterproductive. And so I really have a lot of resistance now to seeking help because of when I sought help from a mental health professional. He's not working with me and listening to how my triggers are triggered and how he's just treating me like every other person basically, and I am extra sensitive with being on the spectrum. And so you need to go about things a little more delicately with me, vice the normal person, and shocking me into forcing me into being in a defense trigger. Even talking about things logically, I still thanked him, but it's also a thanking him of thanks a lot. This is not really helping me. If anything, you're just making me really not want to talk to you further. Your mental health providers, or even physical health providers, you have to have a patient doctor respect and relationship. And I don't have his respect, and he does not have mine. And so I feel like it's just not productive. I was supposed to have an appointment with him today. I got a phone call canceling, I guess, my 10:30 appointment, but I don't know if my 11 appointment is canceled. I sure the hell hope so, because I really am not prepared to deal with him mentally today, with forcing me to try to take an appointment with somebody I tried to establish with. I think it's part of his narcissism, maybe, or ego, that like he's like, this is a perfect place for you to get set up with. I set this up for you. It's insulting that you're not following through with what you're supposed to do for me. And so he does not have the respect for me, nor does he want to receive the reasons why. And the major reason why is because of my PTSD, and it's not logical. And he pointed out that it's not logical, but that's not what the kind of help I needed. I needed him to just be like, okay, let me work with you instead of work against you, because the way he went about it was working against me. I was automatically walls up, on defense mode, crying and upset and frustrated because I did not feel listened to, because he was trying to force me to go to the place that I do not feel comfortable with going because of multiple reasons. And the main reason being them canceling my appointment on me. That is my biggest deal breaker when it comes to any provider. Do not cancel on me my very first appointment. At least at that time that I was dealing with, in the time frame that I was dealing with, I was already highly triggered by multiple things, and that just was the tip of the iceberg. And there were other reasons why I didn't want to go there. I didn't feel like it was a safe neighborhood. The wait list for the medical side to provide medication for me is months on out. I need somebody that is willing to work with me now, and for them to reschedule me with that same provider or with any provider was still going to be like a couple weeks out. I was waiting weeks already for this appointment, and so I was already leery after I made the appointment. I didn't like the location, I didn't like the vibe, I didn't like the receptionist, I didn't like anything to do with it. And I'm not unreasonable. Like, when I click with a place, I click with the place, and I instantly feel at ease. I did not feel at ease at this place. I did not like the receptionist not knowing how to get a copy made. Um, these are just small little irritants that just build up, and I would hold resentment against them. And so I would not really be willing to speak my truth to them. I would just be doing the steps just to do the steps to go there, and it wouldn't have been doing me any good. It wouldn't have done me any good whatsoever. But it's unreasonable for me to not have given them a chance, but they also did not give me a chance. And I know it wasn't her fault that she was sick, but I need somebody now, and I need somebody that will not cancel on me. That is my requirement. Do not cancel the first appointment with me. Although, at least when it comes to mental health, when it comes to other providers, I had my assessment canceled on me, which traumatized me further. But I was willing to reset up with them because I needed the services. And so I have worked through some of my PTSD, but I have to do it at my pace, and I have to do it when I'm ready, not when somebody's forcing me to do it and forcing me to go someplace I don't feel comfortable and forcing me to put my walls up against you because you are no longer being helpful to me. So that is why I'm just not even happy with the psychologist. I have one more appointment with him, and basically I'm not going to have any more help from him. He can choose to request some more help with me because it's going to take more time, but he straight up told me he's not going to because I refused to reschedule with the one place he helped set me up with. That is not fair. That's not cool to me. So basically, you're going to refuse my help, or refuse to help me because you're getting resistance from me because you're pushing me when I'm not ready. And the demeanor, I felt like the first couple of appointments, I was just talking to a wall. I was crying, frustrated. It's like he has no empathy. I don't expect him to cry with me, like by any means. I don't, I just expect some kind of empathy or some kind of response. Even when I am talking almost nonstop insistently because I'm so anxious, because I'm trying to get to know you and I'm trying to get you all the information off the bat so you can make your judgment immediately. But it did not work out that well. Mental health, that psychologist really helped trigger me more, I guess. But I'm going through the hoops. I'm doing it anyways, against my better judgment, against my own mental health wall barriers. I need help finding a provider. And since he's not going to be able to do that anymore after one more appointment, I also need to follow through with my end of, he's helped me fill out a couple intake forms and leave messages with providers, but my insurance doesn't cover that many providers anymore. So that too, I'm going to have to learn how to pay out of pocket. So I really have to sit down with my insurance, set up my computer, and compare plans, because I called yesterday to try and get some answers about physical therapy, and I have learned that if I do change plans, I'm going to be paying $65 out of pocket for my physical therapist for the convenience of them being 5 blocks from my apartment or from my house. But there's no other ones in town, and these are the ones that I know will freaking help me. And it's devastating that they no longer take my insurance. And so now I'm going to be paying so much more out of pocket. But I need to get the caretaking thing situated first so I can have a caretaker go with me. And I can have like a month worth of physical therapy, and I can get that caretaker to go with me and learn how they can help me at home. And that is going to be the biggest help in the freaking world, so I don't have to pay so much out of pocket with my insurance. That is my goal. That is my plan. I hope it will work. I will communicate it during my next assessment with the caretaking people, because I have another assessment to do. I guess the first assessment, they couldn't quite decide what to do with me for what I need help with, so they're having another assessor come out to, not come out, but phone call with me to figure out exactly what will be and not be beneficial for caretaking and what they're allowed and not allowed to do for me. But this is what I need. I need somebody to basically be an advocate with me and help me manage my care. I need them to get me out of bed. I need to get them to get me to my physical therapy. I need to get them to get me to my doctor appointments on time. I need them to help me get ready to go for the day because I can't seem to do it without getting hurt. I may need help assistance driving some days. Not that I need my license taken away. I can drive. It's just, you know, it would be better in my highest pain days when I have to take my medication like this with anxiety pills combination. It would be really beneficial to have a driver so I'm not driving under the influence. But I'm not always under the influence, so I don't need that caretaker for all of it. And I am trying to get off of this medication because it's not good long term. I've been on it long term, and it's not good long term, and it stops losing its potency anyway. But as long as I receive some benefit, that's all I need right now, just to be able to get somewhat functional. But I'm going to cut this video off. It's been almost an hour. I can't believe it's taken me almost an hour just to try and move out of bed. It is so painful. But this is part of my life, and I'm happy that I'm alive. If it wasn't for me feeling pain, I wouldn't be alive. If I didn't feel anything, I wouldn't be here. It's good to feel your feelings. It's good to feel the pain to an extent, because if I covered it up completely, I could hurt myself worse. I'm going to hurt myself worse regardless because I'm out. And I have to get out of bed. I can't let the arthritis set in and the pain and the stiffness set in. But that's why the heating pad. But I also need to move. And I need to do my physical therapy. And I need help with that because I'm out of place. And I need to have somebody learn how to KT tape me. Give me some stability so I'm not adhesing to my abdominal wall. Like, there's so many small tools that will help me, but I can't do it by myself. And my parents don't know what the heck they're doing, and they don't have the time to go to the physical therapist with me. They have their own physical disabilities too. Like, this is a household of 3 disabled people, and how much a caretaker could help me. Oh my gosh, it would be amazing. It'd be amazing. And maybe my mom would accept it at some point to maybe get assessed for herself for some help, but she's too much of an independent woman, and I can't speak on her behalf. But I just know for me, I need help, and it's sad. I'm like 20 years younger than my mom, and I'm the one with the caretaker, and not my mom and dad. When really, I think they could use one. Than myself, really. In my opinion, both my mom and dad could use a caretaker for certain things, but I'm really way more disabled, I feel like. I don't know. I have so many problems. But I have so many feelings, and I have so much more life to live, and I deserve more quality of life than this. And I will have it, because I'm going to work hard at getting it back. Because I have the strong will to live, and I'm not somebody that gives up. But while I'm in bed, I'm going to do as much as I can. Phone calls, paperwork. It's time to tackle the beast today. Ouch. My beast is sitting underneath my desk in a tote. Right there. Unopened mail. That's my paperwork from my doctors. That's new patient paperwork I need to fill out. So I guess my body's telling me this is the day to do it. So I'm signing out. Y'all have a fantastic day. I love you all. Please be kind to yourselves. Be kind to each other. You never know what somebody's dealing with. And I'm going to be out and about outside the house today. Even though I'm feeling like this. I have to. I have no choice because I want to live. So Have a good day. Be kind. Peace, love, happiness, and respect. Respect.